Jasper is a very popular national park in the province of Alberta and covers a really large range in the Rocky Mountains of Canada. It has a town aptly named Jasper that 4,700 people call home. It invites 10 to 15,000 tourists a day to its beautiful mountains, glacial lakes, and unique wildlife. It has a rich history being an important area for Indigenous peoples, and eventually it opened as a fur trading post when Europeans arrived. And earlier this week, half of it was destroyed in a wildfire, and Holly and I were there.
On Monday night, people who were in Jasper received an emergency alert from the Alberta Emergency Management Agency, telling them to evacuate the area immediately.
The fire started in Maligne Lake, which is about 50 kilometers south of Jasper, but fierce winds brought on by a storm created a rapid spread, and it entered a dangerous stage pretty quickly. There was also a fire north of town, and because of the locations of these fires, it meant that there was only one way out of Jasper Park. The road 93 going south towards Banff was in danger because of the Maligne Lake fire. And the 16 East road that goes back towards Hinton and eventually Edmonton was blocked due to the fire to the north of Jasper. So that left one option for people that were evacuating, and that was the 93 west towards British Columbia. Holly and I were there Monday night during the evacuation, and this is what our experience was. So we just kind of planned this trip. We were deciding whether to go to Banff or Jasper, and we decided to go to Jasper because Holly's never been there. So we booked a campsite a couple weeks ago. We arrived at the campsite Monday afternoon at 1:30. It was really, really hot that day, but there was no signs of wildfires. There was like a little bit of smoke in the air. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, there was more smoke where we're from in Alberta, kind of in between Red Deer and Edmonton to the west a little bit. It just seemed like a normal day. And eventually we went into town because Holly's never seen Jasper. So thought it'd be a great idea to sort of walk around and get some ice cream and maybe find some shops with air conditioning. And everyone was just having a normal day, walking their dogs. It was a little bit hot, but the skies were clear. It was a normal day. But we were getting pretty exhausted, and the plan was to go back to the campsite to cook some dinner. And you'll see some footage here of us doing that, but what you'll notice in the footage is that the wind is starting to pick up a little bit. Blew away this neighbor's tent, and it kicked up a lot of dirt. We're constantly just having to cover our eyes, and it sustained that same intensity for about an hour.
So we were dozing off at our campsite, getting ready to go to sleep, and we received a message from Scott's mum, who had seen a message on Facebook that was an advisory from the town that they live in Alberta, that was a warning against traveling to Jasper because of the potential wildfire risk that was happening.
We did see some signs as well. So like the wind was one thing, and the skies were getting really dark as well.
Yeah, and orange.
Yeah, it was kind of an orangey glow. So we knew something was kind of going on. And the other thing was the ashes that started falling as well. Mm-hmm. So there was a few signs that kind of gave us a bad feeling.
We're currently traveling west on Highway 16, and we're evacuating the Jasper wildfires right now. We were just set up in camp, and we were drifting off to sleep probably around 25 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We noticed the skies were getting really dark, and it kind of prompted us to keep an eye on the weather and the forecast. With the little internet signal that we got, we actually found that there was a fire that started just south of Jasper, Maligne Lake. Mm-hmm. And we were just north of that. So we were probably about 5 minutes drive from that fire. We packed up camp. And we were in this like big campsite with lots of people.
Yeah, Wapiti. We're staying in Wapiti.
And I think we were probably the first ones to leave, or like among the first ones to leave, because no one was really moving. Actually, when we got to the front gate, we noticed that all the park rangers were having a meeting, and they were trying to figure out what to do, like what the right course of action would be. Also, when we were driving towards the gate, there was people like running towards their campsites, panicking and like sprinting and trying to gather their things. So got the attention of one of the park rangers and asked them where the best place. And she told us that there were 2 highways closed. So the highway east to Edmonton, which is the one that we wanted to take because we live towards like that way, like south of Edmonton, that was closed. So they closed that one, and they closed the one south, which is where we came from, towards Banff. That's obviously where the fire was. So the only option was to go west, actually, to BC. So we're driving towards Kamloops right now. We know that there's a fire in Kamloops, or somewhere near Kamloops as well, so we're kind of trying to keep our eye on that, but we have no internet.
We're trying to cycle through the radio stations to find any kind of advice or anything that might be happening, since we don't have internet, but we can't find that either.
When we drove in, like, we noticed that there was smoke, but that's kind of like normal for this time of year, because check the wildfire sort of forecast or the map, you'll notice that there's fires like way north of here. The weather tends to blow the smoke down here, so it's normal for a fire to start like 5 minutes from where we were. That's kind of crazy. Now I think Jasper's under threat.
Yeah.
So as we speak, firefighters are trying to douse the fire and trying to stop the spread so it doesn't get to Jasper right now.
In the end, we had a pretty long trip home, but we were probably among the more fortunate in that situation. Our thoughts go out to people that lost property in this situation.
We think that the situation was handled pretty well by the authorities, being able to get everybody out safely, and that's including all of the backcountry backpackers as well.
If you're new to the channel, we usually make hiking and traveling related content that tends to be on the lighter side. Please hit like and subscribe if you liked the video, and also drop any questions for us in the comments and we'll try to answer them.
From Scott, Holly, and Haven, we'll see you in the next one.